أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah to everyone tuning in. Today we're going to continue with our very interesting Tarbiyyat topics as we are in the Tarbiyyat Ashra. Alhamdulillah, yesterday we had a very informative session organized by Ansarullah Walsall Jamaat. Jazakumullah everyone for joining that as well. We started on the 12th of June and we're going to continue inshallah until the 21st of June. And we're going to try and deliver one topic every day on different aspects, on things you can work on as Ansar. So in today's topic, we are going to talk about struggling for success and how the Holy Quran teaches us that nothing in this world is given without some sort of struggle, some sort of toil and work. As you all know, in your daily jobs, you must always struggle. You must always work hard to be able to achieve what you have to do in that day. And so this is a nature of man that we are made. Allah made us to work hard and to struggle and to work for our success. And so in the Holy Quran, Allah the Almighty says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد, that we have surely created man to toil and struggle. And just to understand this verse a little bit more, before we start applying it to our daily lives, and remember, whenever we read the Holy Quran, we must always think how we can apply this to us, how we can learn a verse of the Holy Quran and how we can use it in our daily life. And so this was another indication that our nature as men is to work and is to go out and strive and win bread for the family. And so let's now look at the commentary of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Sani, and he says that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was expelled from Mecca, but he came back to it as a conqueror. Mecca submitted to him, and all its inhabitants, the inhabitants that were living in Mecca, eventually entered his fold. This all happened after he and his followers had gone through great hardships, had gone through great toil and incessant struggle to achieve their great goal. And so, as we know, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the greatest example, even he wasn't given everything on a plate. He was told that he would go through all of these trials, just like all prophets, but he went through the hardest of trials. As we know, for 13 long years, he was tortured, was mentally tortured, physically tortured, was thrown out of his own home, the place where he was born, and wasn't accepted back. His people passed away before him. He lost his family members, his best friends, his neighbors, and everyone you can think of were falling right in front of him before his very eyes. But he maintained that faith in Allah the Almighty, and maintained that level of struggle and hard work to achieve what Allah the Almighty had promised him, which was eventually the success of Islam spreading in Mecca and all over the world. And so this is a great lesson for us all, to understand that we must struggle to attain anything. And now we will just go to a hadith which will teach us about how we should continuously struggle and keep learning to attain knowledge. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, "أطلب العلم من المهد إلى اللهد," that seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. And so knowledge is of two kinds, one where you learn and one where you teach. And one very important aspect about being a man, being a father, being a grandfather, or even a great grandfather, is that you must always, whatever you learn, you must try to give back, and you must try to teach um, those younger members in the family, the children, the grandchildren. You must always look to teach them what you know, and that means you must always seek knowledge, and you must always teach the members that knowledge also. And beloved Hazur, may Allah strengthen his hand and be his helper, said that ever since I was a child, I have seen that wherever I have sincerely asked Allah for anything and have wept before Him, He has always fulfilled my needs and wishes. He has answered my prayers in ways that are even better than I had hoped or expected. And so struggling can be applied on many different levels. And with this in particular, we are talking about struggling in prayer. So we've understood that we must struggle to seek knowledge. Now we must struggle to also seek Allah the Almighty, and that is through prayer. And beloved Hazur here has given his own account of his own experience, and whenever he really did turn to Allah the Almighty and wept for his help, and he saw that Allah the Almighty was always there to help him, and we too must be the same. And that means we must really be firm on our prayers, our 5 daily prayers. And we discussed this yesterday, and we also discussed this many times throughout the course. And throughout your lives, you'll always be hearing concentrate on prayers, because this is the first and foremost instruction of man, is to pray to Allah the Almighty. So struggle in prayer is number one. Number two is you must struggle in the conviction of faith. And beloved Hazur, again, he said, do not ever hide your faith, but identify yourselves to the world as true Muslims. Be firm in your conviction that the Holy Quran is a complete book that not only commands Muslims to worship Allah, to pray 5 times daily, and to increase their spiritual knowledge, but it also gives worldly insights and guides mankind about general day-to-day issues. And so sometimes we feel that we don't know enough about our own religion, and we know we can say very easily that the Holy Quran is a perfect book. We can easily say that Allah the Almighty exists. We can say that we pray our 5 daily prayers, but how do we get conviction, and how can we say certainly to people that I am a true Ahmadi Muslim? I try to be the best person that I can, and for many people that's very difficult, and that's only because you haven't taken the step of struggling to attain that conviction in your faith by seeking Allah the Almighty, by seeking knowledge and understanding your religion. And that's why religious knowledge is so important, and it should be put before any other kind of knowledge. And before you teach other people, you must teach yourself. You must learn about religion, and you must learn about what Islam teaches, so that you may be able to fully stand up in front of your family, in front of your children, and all the members, and say that I am an Ahmadi Muslim, and I am not afraid of being called an Ahmadi Muslim. And when you do that, then you can really be that role model, be that influence in your house, to be able to teach them and to show them how to be an Ahmadi Muslim. Again, just with everything, we are made to work, and we must struggle to work. And again, if you go back to the verse which we cited at the beginning, that man has been made to work, to struggle, to work hard. And beloved Hazur said, guiding the children of the Jamaat, saying, do not waste these golden educational opportunities, but instead grasp them and seek to achieve excellence in your chosen fields of interest. whether it is science or other subjects. And so here, beloved Huzur has again um, indicated to everyone, in fact, that we must struggle so much. We must really take these golden opportunities, these golden educational opportunities, to excel in our field and excel in the place that we want to be in. And nothing will be given to you on a plate without you first struggling to find it and trying to attain your goals. And so, again, as the parents, you must also instill that endeavor, that hard-working quality into your children. Many times you see that many successful people, when you ask them what made you so successful, many times they would say it was because of my mother or because I saw my father working so hard. So we also have that quality inside of us, and many times this comes from poorer countries, countries where parents didn't have much money or they didn't have much opportunity, but they had those qualities of working hard, of struggling to give their children a better life. And many times these children actually grow up to have so much more than the parents ever had and could ever have dreamed of, because they worked hard and they were able to provide a good quality life for their children. So when we are living in times where we have everything so easily accessible to us, it doesn't mean that these qualities should diminish or should get any less. We should, in fact, work even harder to provide an even better life for our children, because we don't know what the future holds for us. All we know is that we must be the best people we can be, and Allah the Almighty has promised that He will look after the rest. So um, struggle in knowledge, struggle in prayer, struggle in your work. These are very important aspects. And so, with that, just to finish off, we'll just go through these points about becoming role models for your children. We say this again and again, and because it's so important, you want your children to be growing up saying that they see you as their friends. They see you as people that they can talk to. If you don't have that, then it becomes very difficult for a child to grow up connected with their parents. And so instill that by becoming their friend, by teaching them good things in the house, by not teaching them bad things, because children pick up things very quickly and they pick up bad habits very quickly as well. So become role models, teach your children about Islam. Right from the beginning, we talked about um, this before, about the very moment a child is born, we are instructed to do the azan in the ears of the child, and that is the first step of you teaching it about Islam. And so, from that moment onwards, we should never stop. We should never think that let my child go to school, let him go through his years of education, secular education, and then if whatever he learns is enough. That is not the way our Hazrat Masih Maud has instructed. In fact, he firmly warned those people who do not teach religious education and training to their children um, before secular education. He said that this is as if the baby takes the milk of his mother uh, if only you teach secular education. And if you do that, then the baby will only become dependent on the milk of its mother, which is secular education in these terms. And so, as the child grows up, he will learn to be rebellious against his religion because that was never fed to him. That was never given to him while he was a baby, while he was growing up. And so later on in life, he will think that I do not need this. I do not need this education because I have my secular education, and I'm seeing my worldly desires being fulfilled. And in that way, you will lose your child in many ways, and it will become very difficult to bring him back and to teach him education of Islam and of religion. So this is a very important point, and this is something which should be taken very seriously. And both mother and father should work very hard on looking at this aspect of how we can train our child in a religious way, and you're going to get secular education anyway. And if you see the reason schools are so important is because they work so hard to provide that education for the children. And so parents shouldn't be slack or be lazy by thinking schools have taken care of that matter. All the education the child's going to learn is from your home and from how you develop the environment. And so this is the most important point of this daras, is that teaching religious education before anything else. And try your best and work hard in this manner, work hard on yourselves, and then automatically your children will also work hard. So Jazakumullah Jaza for listening. This was one short daras on the Quranic verse which states that man is made to work hard. So inshallah again we'll continue this daras for the next few days. So inshallah we'll continue in that manner. Jazakumullah jaza. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.